Hi all, welcome to John's Metalworking. Today we've got Eddie Stobart Moving the Nation, issues 7 to 10. Now I do believe it takes about 3 issues to complete the seats and the seat support. And then we move on to the tyre, or the wheel and tyre, in the last issue. So here we have, there's issue 7. We'll also have a look at what is in the magazines as well, look at the stories, which are always an interesting read. So without further ado, let's get on with the build. Issue 7, list of parts. We have the driver's seat support, 702 is the rear connection plate, or 3 is the front connection plate, or 4 is front suspension arms times 2, or 5 is a seat holder, or 6 is a seat frame right, or 7 is seat frame left, or 8 is horizontal bar for seat frame, or 9 is seat adjustment knobs, and we've got 13 1.2 times 4mm PP screws. Excellent, let's get the parts out. At least we've only got one set of screws. I think we might as well leave them in because we're not fitting them. Or them at the moment. So let's have a look what we've got here. All these little tiny screws. So should we try out our screwdrivers that we got as a free gift? Let's see, we'll try this one. Now first off, let's get these organized. I need this part and I believe this part. So step 1, we do need to have it that way, and is it? Yep, that way. Fit them in there like so. Then we kind of put that down, or yep, I think we'll be able to do this without our helping hand or a third hand. So we fit the end of connection plate 702 into the more pointed end of the support 701 and screw in at both sides. Not a bad screwdriver this at the moment. See how long it lasts. There we go. That's the first 2 parts together. So that's step 1 and step 2 complete. Now we need this piece, and that goes in here. Again, 2 screws. I did a channel update the other day, and lo and behold, what came through the post the next day? Mr. Stobart, issues 7 to 10. Excellent stuff. I was going to do Iron Man today, but I'm making a mess of this. Let me do this again. But I had a look at the instructions for this, and I thought, well, it's a bit cheeky of them to ask us to do 1 seat over 3 issues, so I thought I'd just get it over and done with. Here we have completed a tyre already, a tyre and a wheel, and that is done over 2 issues, plus we don't get that silver chrome trim either, which is a bit of a surprise. Comes in a later issue, I believe. Not sure what issue, but anyway, that is step 3 and step 4. Now what we need is these 2 parts, which is 704, and we need to fit that here and one on the other side as well, so we can actually start this off by putting a screw in here. I think it goes straight through anyway. Seems to be doing. Now let's come out. Right, It shows you with tweezers with these, so but I think we can get away with it using tweezers. Let's hold that there. Steady hand. That's that part. And then we move on to step 6. Oh, oh, actually we're on step 7. Surprise, surprise. Now let's get that there and pop that screw in there. Excellent. Brilliant. And then what we need, I'm just going to turn this one round because the moulding is on the outer. I don't think it's going to make any difference, but as the instructions show, the moulding on the inside, or when it's come off the mould, we'll do it like that. There we go, that goes like that. I believe that goes like that. Now what we've got is step 9, so we need, yep, this piece, and we need it up, so like, yep, it goes there, and is that right? Yeah, I must push them down. Right, anyway, it goes, no, it's not that one, that way. Push that one back. That one goes in there like so, and then we screw that down. It can only go one way. So this is a seat holder, 705. Identify 2 tabs with screw holes on the underside which fit on either side of the end of the front connection plate 703. Note the orientation of the seat holder as shown here. It's it might look like when I look at the instructions you can't really tell. I couldn't really tell anyway. It's only when you put it in place you can see where these tabs go with this, this and this. You can't put it the other way anyway, so anyway, let's get that one in. There we go. Lovely jubbly. That one's in. Now we can move these into position like so and get some more screws in. Come on, screwdriver. It's not a bad little screwdriver, this. But it is, like I said, just a matter of time before it wears itself out. You never know, they might send us another. There we go. Line that hole up. Excellent. There we have it. That is the seat support all complete. We don't fit these until a later issue. Oh, whoopity-doo. Anyways, that's issue 7 done. So let's have a look at what is in the magazine. Let's have a look at the overhead cam. There we go. You can have a look at that. Wasn't too difficult, seeing it's all the same screws as well. But there we go. Anyway, first article, page 7, the metal box business. I remember this being up in West Orton. Eddie Stobart had developed a good working relationship with a metal box company in the 1970s. It became the source of much of the work of the Stobart company for many years. It might sound like an unlikely name, but the metal box company had been the market leader in the manufacture of cans for the food and drink market since it was first founded in 1921. At the end of the 18th century, Benjamin Scott, a young man from Colbeck, went to London to train as a printer. When he returned to Carlisle, he opened a small stationery business. In the mid-19th century, Hudson Scott, Benjamin's nephew, inherited the business and took advantage of many new innovations in the printing trade. He installed steam-operated machines and started to print decorative biscuit tins, which were all the fashion at the time. Hudson Scott was a Quaker and took great care of his workers. At the time, Jonathan Dodge Carr, a fellow Quaker based in Carlisle, manufactured biscuits. The two businesses were made for each other. Hudson made decorative tins for Carr's biscuits. Excellent stuff. That story goes on for 3 pages. We've got a timeline here as well, 1976 to 1986. And the next page we have Amy, Ford cargo truck. I'm not seeing this one on the road yet. Eddie Stobart's Amy, registration E316AAO, was a curtain side Ford cargo truck that joined the company fleet in 1987. The Stobart truck, named Amy, was a forward control design with a vertical fronted cab sitting over the diesel engine, classified as a 7.5 ton vehicle with a permissible gross vehicle weight of 10.5 tons. The rigid chassis Ford cargo was fitted with a drawbar coupling system that enabled it to tow a trailer. The truck was part of Stobart's expanding fleet in the 1980s as operations were widened to include a high proportion of urban and city work. Brilliant stuff. And there's a little article there, drawbar versus Arctic. And the next issue, issue 8, driver's seat, frame and upholstery. Okay, let's move on to issue 8. Okay, so there we have the parts for issue 8. Driver's seat back upholstery, driver's seat back inner frame, seat back panel, seat upholstery, seat inner frame, driver's seat base, 2 sets of screws, 7 1.8 times 4mm PB screws and 3 1.2 4mm PB screws, 1 spare. Now before we start doing that, we actually do complete the parts that we got in issue 7, which is rather odd. So we need what we already assembled back in place, and we need to put on step 1, take the left seat frame 707 and fit the 2 holes in the flange like so. There we go. Let's push fit, and do the same with the other side. There we go, that's them in place, and then we fit, let's see, step 3, we fit this bar in here and here like that. That is step 3, and we use PB 1.2 4mm screws supplied with the previous issue, which we have. We've got 3 of these left. So we can screw these in. We could have done this in the last issue actually, which is, like I said before, all a little bit odd, spreading this out the way they have done, but there's a method in the madness, I'm sure. Get that lined up in there. Hold on to that bar, can feel some resistance. It wanted to flip the bar around while you're screwing it in. There we go. Excellent stuff. There's that light from the overhead. Brilliant. There we go. Okay, now it wants us to fit these caps. Take one of the seat control knobs, 709, fit it onto the pegs at the end of the seat support. Okay, I think both of these are exactly the same. That one's got a little bit of flash in it, I think, there. Yeah, that's come off easy enough. Right, the seat supports are here, or the pegs I should say are there and there, like so. Excellent. Now we need the parts of this issue. We may need some water. Those are the DPO2 screws I should say, and DPO1. Let's have a look at these. That seems quite supple to me, and that does as well. Okay, now let's have a see if we can. Now, first off, take the seat back in the frame 802 and check how it fits into the seat back upholstery 801. Let's see if it goes in without any water. You can actually see that they've got a keyhole on the side. There we go. Put this on the side camera. There we go. See how it fits. So we didn't need to pop that in water anyway. Alright, what we need next is 803. Yeah, that's all fine. Make sure that is over the top as well. Now we can fit 803. 4 pegs, and it's a push fit this. Let's line that up. There we go. Excellent. What have I got it? Snapping. There we go. And that's gone in. Yep. It's a bit proud though. Oh, it's not fully gone in there. There we go. Now that's gone in. Excellent. That was a bit snappy, but it's flush now. Brilliant. Now it says place the seat upholstery 804 in a bowl of warm water for a few minutes so it becomes supple. Right, which is this piece, but it's quite supple as it is, so I think we'll try it without. Now we need the inner frame assembly. Let's have a see. That goes. Let's have a quick look, get rid of that. Right. So the 6 tabs. Yep, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you've got to rotate this around so we can slot them all into place. Yeah, you don't need water for this rubber. It's supple enough as it is. There we go. That's all you need to do with that. Now again, this shows a free seat frame 805 fitted into the upholstery. That is completed work. That is it. We don't use that. We don't use them screws. The seat frame has been fitted to the seat support and 2 parts of the seat have upholstery. The parts shown below will be used in the next issue. Store them safely until they are needed. Oh right, okay. Right. There we go. Let's have a look at what is in this magazine. We have page 7, smart decisions. In the mid-1980s, Edward was looking for more ways to make the company a major player in the world of a long-distance haulage. Although turnover in 1985 was impressive, Edward battled with ever-rising wage bills and increased loan repayments. He seriously considered closing the company down and telling all his drivers to go it alone, each taking on the same amount of work but with their own lorries. However, Edward was an employee with a conscience, and he felt that he owed it to his 40 staff to take care of their work and wages. Rather than closing the company down, he decided to expand, but to do that he needed a good management team. He had already promoted driver Jeff Bainbridge, and Colin Rutherford had joined the company from Metalbox in 1986, but 10 years of doing everything in a company is bound to take its toll. Edward was touted for trade, planning the pickups and deliveries, organising the finance, and often driving at nights and weekends when other drivers were unavailable. He was also still washing the lorries down using a hose at the depot. At the end of the day there was a queue for the hose, and Edward often finished off the last touches by hand. As he's quoted saying, "There's always a bit you have to finish off by hand, even with the best vehicle wash, so I usually did that when they had all gone home." The best vehicle wash was a Karcher truck wash, which Edward bought for £22,000 soon after moving to Kingstown. Great employer. And on page 10 we have unusual loads. The Eddie Stobart fleet has a range of specialised vehicles, from refrigerated trucks to a customised horse box worth £500,000, and over the years the company has been contracted to transport a variety of unusual loads. Although the main areas of Eddie Stobart's business have been in the traditional areas of agricultural materials, food, consumer goods and drinks, for companies such as Murray Group Newspapers and Coca-Cola, the Stobart companies have also become involved in delivering a wide range of slightly more unusual items. Perhaps the most outlandish job came in 2008 when the BBC TV show Top Gear planned an ambitious project to construct a space shuttle using a Reliant Robin. The aim was to fix boosters, wings and a tail fin to the three-wheel car and then attach it to a large fuel tank before propelling it high into the sky. The plan was for the unmanned Reliance orbiter to detach from the fuel tank in mid-air and then gracefully glide down to make a safe landing. Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Brilliant. Okay, so now we move on to stage 9. So issue 9, there we have list of parts: internal wheel rim, external wheel rim, 5pm 2.3 times 4mm screws. In this issue we continue with the assembly of the driver's seat. The wheel parts supplied here will be assembled in the next issue along with the tyre. Okie doke, now we know that. What we need is this part, which fits snugly over here. There are 2 pegs there which are located on here. Just press that into place and we hold this in place with a couple of screws, which are 1.8 times 4mm, which are these DPO2 from the previous issue. Okie dokie, let's try the other screwdriver. It's slightly bigger. Bum, 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 bum. See what I mean? We could have done all this in one issue really. Not that I'm complaining, of course. I won't do that. And next we need the upholstered seat assembled previously, and we need to fit this over 1, 2, 3, 4 holes like that. I don't think it matters which way that goes round because it looks exactly the same, as long as we can see them screw holes. It does actually. There we go, that's the back. You can actually fit it just one way around. Move that over now. Expose the other 2 screws there. Let me see. 4 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that seat does go one particular way. You'll find out when you put it in place. Now all we do here is fit this in here and here, and obviously with the shape of it, it will only go one way, like that and that, and there we go. It looks stupid upside down, won't it really? There we go, it's going to fall out now. But now we need the other screws, and we can actually use one of the spur screws that we had from a previous issue for this. So I'll pop that back into place again. Does seem a little bit delicate, these arms. You don't fully tighten these up because you do want this seat to move back and forth. And we can get the screws out. And take your time. There we go. There we go. No need to rush. Excellent. There we go. You might want to tighten it a little bit more yourself. I don't know. Let's have a see. Probably fall through the back of that, me. There we go. Easily removed. It's great. It's better than being too stiff, otherwise you might accidentally break something. There we go. That's yeah, that's it. That's completed work. So that's the seat. Took 7, 8 and 9, and we can do them in issue 10. But that's looking really nice, that. I wonder if it was that same colour. I would imagine so. So you could easily spray this a different colour. But anyway, you know, it'd be good to know if it's fully accurate. That I'm not an HGV driver, never have been, but just somebody out there knows how accurate that is. Okie doke, let's have a look at the magazine. First article, page 7, branching out. By 1987 the company had a turnover of 4.5 million and a well-balanced management team, but it was still based in Cumbria and did not have the national recognition that Edward desired. Edward Stobart had introduced some important changes to the company in the mid-80s, with Colin Rutherford from Metal Box as transport manager, Barry Thomas in charge of finance, and William Stobart on the traffic desk. After William had been in the job a year, the changes Edward had made began to make noticeable improvements, and William was able to take on another traffic planner, Rob Beattie. William and Rob split the work down the middle, each looking after the work plan for half of the drivers, but at first the drivers remained loyal to William and Edward. For a few weeks there were drivers mourning on to Rob, saying, "I want to speak to William, put William on the line," just as they'd done when I arrived. Poor guy. That's what you call having to settle in and ingratiate yourself to people. All about teamwork. Nina Volvo F7 intercooler. Stobart's Nina registration number A462EHH was a Volvo F7 8x4 curtain side out truck. Nina joined the company fleet in 1983. Vehicle manufacturer Volvo was founded in Gothenburg, Sweden in 1927. It went on to establish an enviable reputation for the quality and performance of both its cars and its commercial trucks, which made their debut in 1928. In 1954, Volvo pioneered the use of turbocharged engines for its trucks, and in 1962 the company was the first to introduce tilt cabs. As a result of constant innovation, Volvo took its place at the forefront of truck design. Lovely jubbly. And there in the main picture we have the Volvo A462EHH. Okay, there we go. Next set of parts. Issue 10, the tyre. Let's move on to issue 10. Okay, so issue 10. We need to put this into some hot water. So I've got some already prepared because this is definitely not supple enough. So I'll pop that in there for a couple of minutes. And while that's soaking away, we can put the rim together. It shouldn't be difficult. We've done this before. We don't get the outer trim for whatever reason. I don't know what's going on with that, but anyway, we can easily put this together just like that and screw it get rid of all this rubbish. We use one of the free screwdrivers again. That looks very good. Try this on the camera. There we go. Daff. Let's see that, can't we? Yeah. There we go. Bonnie. And there's the seat. Then we get the cab floor in the issue 11, which is going to be great. There we go. All we need to do now is give that a minute. Get that tyre put in place. Okay, I think we've given that long enough now. Let's get the tyre out. Pop it on this towel. Here we go. Get that there. Shake any excess off. There we go. Let's see if we can manipulate this in. Should go in no problem really now. There we go. Excellent. Brilliant. There we go. Nice and supple that was. Brilliant. So that's issue 7 to 10 complete. There we go. No trim. That'll come in a later issue, I believe. The offside front wheel has been assembled. Further details will be fitted in a future issue. Whoopity doo. Okie doke. Also, what we got this month. Yes, the binder. So we can put all our issues in. There we go, that's another free gift. Lovely jubbly. Let's have a look at what we already have. So we have, there we go, front, the door, the bumper, the registration plate, and whoa, another tyre. Excellent. Brilliant. Let's have a look at what is in the magazine then. First article, page 7, the Derbyshire link. Towards the end of the 1980s, the company was expanding rapidly. New depots and large business loans helped the growth, but the basic values of the Stobart family were not forgotten. The move to Burnaston was a big step for David Jackson. He had known Edward since he started working the yard at Hesketh, Newmarket, and Edward had taken him with him when he moved his haulage business to the Greystone Road site in 1976. David had passed his HGV test in 79 at the age of 21 and was still driving in 1987. However, he now had a wife and new baby, so it seemed a sensible choice to take on the management job in Derbyshire. It meant that he would not have to spend so much time away from his family. But David was nervous about taking the post. He had lived in Cumbria all his life. Now Edward was asking him to move to a place nearly 200 miles away. Oh, that's what you call ambition and family life. You can get them working together, and it seems like he does so brilliantly. And that goes on for 2 more pages, so 3 pages in all. And page 10, Stobart uniforms. Eddie Stobart drivers are famous for their distinctive uniforms of green and black, which they are required to wear at all times when on duty. Stobart was the first British truck fleet to introduce company uniforms for all its drivers. They were brought in on the specific instructions of Edward Stobart, who originally designed them. As part of his mission to revamp the image of the company and establish a strong brand to give it an edge over its competitors, Edward's introduction of the company uniform in the 1980s complemented the livery of the trucks in their Brunswick green and post office red. Like the trucks, which were washed and polished regularly, drivers had to be immaculately turned out. Lovely jubbly. So they should be. That looks brilliant, that main picture. Traditionally, truck drivers wore heavy boots and their own comfortable clothing. Although the Stobart driver, photographed in 71, is reasonably smart in jeans and a cardigan, Edward saw the opportunity for a smarter look. Excellent stuff. And on the back page, Stobart merchandise. As the Stobart company has grown in the public consciousness and in popularity, so has the demand for Eddie Stobart merchandise, just like this artwork. And there we go, the next set of parts, the floor of the cab. There we are. That is issue 11. Well, that's brilliant. That's issues 7 to 10 complete. There's our binder, looking good. Does look a very handsome vehicle, I must admit. Very classy. And all the parts. There it is. Our second wheel, and I still can't believe that took 3 issues to put together, but it's looking pretty good anyway. Excellent. Anyway, if you did like that, give us a big thumbs up, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. Bye for now.